Hello everyone, welcome to another One Piece deck tech. Today we have a very interesting deck. It's a Captain Kid winner of the regionals that were hosted yesterday, 7th of October in Latin America. So it's very interesting to see that in OP4 we still have Kid very strong. He's an amazing leader and we are only playing cards up to OP02 and he still managed to win the tournament. So let's go ahead and take a look at what cards are in the deck. We have four Namis. Wait, we left one Nami in the back. Okay, so we have four Namis. Nami is really good. Nami basically is a searcher, but she's also 5,000 power. She costs 3. And to search, you have to pay 1, but you can search on play and when attacking. So that makes her really relevant because we have a lot of cards that can protect her late game. So we are not only going to search once, but have the ability to search twice or even 3 times when we attack. And not only does she apply pressure, but she keeps your hand full of cards. So we've ordered the cards like in order of importance. Nami is way up in number 1. You're going to see why later on as I show you the rest of the deck, but she is a really amazing card in this deck. Next up, we have Brook. Brook is a 4 cost. Whenever he comes into play, he can play a film card or a Straw Hat Crew type character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. So the combo is you can play Brook. For example, when you have 5 done, you play Brook, you play Nami, and you search. Or you can play Brook, and then you can play, for example, an Usop, and have 5,000 bodies by only paying 4 done. So that's really strong. Or you can play him and maybe play 2020 Chopper if you need to rest an opponent character, although that rarely happens because you normally only want the Chopper as a 2k counter. But that's also like a play you could do in case you see your opponent has a small blocker that is not going to let you close up the game. You know Chopper can help you with that. And if you're going to play him for free, it's a pretty good deal. Next up, again in order of importance, we have Luffy. He's a 7 cost, 7,000 blocker that also allows you to play a film or a Straw Hat character with a cost of 4 less from your hand. So basically we have turns where we play a 7,000, then we play Brook, and then we play Nami and search, or we can play Luffy, we can play then Brook, and then we can play an Usop. So we have a 7,000 body, a 5,000 body, and another 5,000 body. So that's really amazing. And the fact that he's a 7,000 blocker is really important. So amazing card, really helps in the film engine. Next up, we have Zoro. Zoro is really nice. He's a 6,000, only for 4. He's just a vanilla, but because there are a lot of people playing Whitebeard, Zoro becomes really relevant because as a 6,000, he can apply pressure every single turn without us having to invest any Dawn on him. So really amazing card. Next up, and almost finished with our film, we have Usop. We've talked about him a lot already. He's a 5,000 for 3, so we can play with Brook, we can play him with Luffy. He's searchable with Nami. As you see, we play a lot of film so that Nami never misses her search. She's one of the new searchers, so she only looks at the top 3 cards. We're gonna see later Bonnie. She's still one of the old searchers, so she looks at 5 cards, so she rarely misses. But Nami needs a lot more film characters so that we never miss a search with Nami. Next up, we have our 4 Frankies. Very standard as well. 5 cost for a 7k vanilla, but he's a film and he really helps us apply pressure in those matches where we really need to be applying a lot of pressure. This is a deck that really deals well with Nami because in a single turn you're playing a bunch of 5,000 and she just can't keep up with the damage you're applying on her, and she's not clearing your board, so you're just hitting her every single turn with bigger and bigger bodies. And Kid has an amazing ability, when he can attack twice as a 12,000. So very dangerous for Nami, and also very dangerous for those decks that don't want to be attacked by very big bodies often and that don't have that much cards to deal with them. So great to have a 7,000 for 5. And next, and our last film card is just Chopper. Chopper is here for a counter plus 2,000 and maybe to rest an opponent blocker if we need to close up the game. It's really good to close up the game with Kid. As you know, we can attack twice for 12,000. So if he has one blocker and you have Chopper, you can just place 1 Dawn on Chopper, rest that blocker, and then attack twice for 11k, and that could finish the game. So just so you know, you can do that ability with him, but pretty amazing just as a 2k counter, searchable with Nami. Next up, we have the Supernova part of the deck. So this deck is divided between all the filmed part of the deck and now up the supernovas. And of course, we start with 4 bunnies, one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion. You pay 1 and rester in your main, and you can search for a supernova in the top 5 cards of your deck, put it to your hand. And as you see, we're going to play a bunch of supernovas so that she doesn't miss her search. But the fact that she can do this more than once, and we have Kid to protect her, is what makes her really, really amazing, and it's what I think makes this green deck so powerful throughout all the different sets that have come out in One Piece. And it's that if we have a Kid rested and we have a Bonnie in play, and they're not dealing with this, you're never going to run out of cards because you're searching every single turn. So you have your draw, you have your search. Normally you have even 2 Bonnies, so you can really, really take advantage of this play. And this deck additionally has Luffy's, which are 7k blockers, so it's going to be even harder for your opponent to remove the Bonnie. Additionally, when Kid comes into play and when you rest this character, you can play a character with cost 3 or less from your hand. So as you can see, we have some pretty strong characters. You can play Nami, you can play your Bonnies, you can play Usop. So Kid not only enters to protect your board and to apply pressure and to do everything you want a One Piece card to do, but it also puts another big body down. So amazing, amazing card. We only play 2 because we have a bunch of Bonnies searching for him all the time. So we normally get him when we need him. Next up, our 2k searchable counter. That's Scratchman Apu, pretty straightforward. He's worked the same since OP01. I really don't have to explain him. You search with him with Bonnie, and it's a 2k counter. Next up, we have Punk Gibson. Punk Gibson is really, really nice. It gives you plus 4k to one of your characters or your leader, and then you can rest an opponent character with cost of 4 or less. And the trigger is also amazing. So the trigger rests any opponent character. So a lot of times, if this card comes off the trigger, it's going to save your life. You're going to rest a big character that he's saving, maybe to hit your Luffy's, to hit your Nami's. Yeah, so basically what you do is even 4k and rest an opponent character to clear it later, or 4k and rest an opponent character that's going to attack you, or if it comes off your trigger, you rest an opponent character that's probably going to finish the game. So amazing, amazing card. You have to play 4 of these cards. Next up, we have the 4 Capone. Pretty straightforward. It's the green 1-cost blocker, searchable with Bonnie. So amazing card, especially because if you have this blocker and you have Luffy on board and you play your Kid, he's basically going to be unkillable. So you rest him, they can only attack him. You start blocking with your big blockers. And then, additionally, let's say we play Kid, we rest him, and we have a Luffy in play. If we have a Luffy, we probably have maybe a Brook, or we have a Usop, or we have something else bigger in the board. So we have a big board. And he plays, for example, a Katakuri just to get rid of Kid. That still means he loses his entire turn. We get another life, and we still have a bunch of board presence to finish off the game. So also pretty good deck against yellow, which is really prevalent at the moment. Next up, we have 2 Paradise Waterfall. This card is amazing. It's this next 5 cards I'm going to show you are the only ones that are not searchable, but we play them just because they're so amazing. Basically, Paradise Waterfall, you give plus 2k to your leader or a character, and then you can ready one of your characters. So a great play here is you block with Luffy. So he sends in a 5k or a 6k. You block with Luffy. Next turn he throws in a 6k. You give him plus 2k, and you ready up your Luffy again, and that's game over for your opponent's attack phase because now he has to deal again with a 7k blocker. Or it also works really well against with your Kid. You rest him to protect all your characters. He attacks him with maybe 9k, 10k, or 8k. You play Paradise Waterfall, protect him, and if you know you don't have anything else to protect him and they're gonna kill him with the next attack, you ready him up, and he's safe for next turn to have an 8k attacker, or maybe to just rest him and play something else again. So really amazing to play this card in this deck. It helps you with everything. It helps you to protect Nami, for example. Maybe he attacks him one with 5k. You play a Paradise Waterfall, ready her, and then next turn you're going to be able to search again. You can do the same with Bonnie, although Bonnie being a 1k is a bit harder to save with a 2k. But it can also happen that he attacks the Bonnie, you use a blocker, use this and ready her, and you're ready for next turn to search again. And finally, we have 3 Isos. He is really good. He's always been really good. He's a 2k counter, and when he comes into play, he taps cost 4 or less opponent character. So that means we can really easily close up games. So sometimes she's a 2K counter, and sometimes she's just great at removing big threats, just tapping big threats, and then we hit them with our Frankies, with our Brooks, with our Luffys, or we just tap that blocker and do our double attack with Kid and take him out of the game with two big attacks. So there you have it. Amazing deck. Just won a huge tournament, online tournament, and it's still really, really strong after all this time. So go ahead, build it again, and keep playing your green decks because they're really, really nice. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment the video. See you in the next one.